All right, let's talk next-gen manufacturing. We get so caught up in the giant machines, the cool software, but what if I told you that the secret to your entire operation's success, the thing that really guarantees precision and safety, is one of the smallest, most ignored parts in the whole shop? Well, today, we're going to shine a spotlight on that unsung hero. So think about it for a second. You've got this million-dollar machine, right? The best software, a top-notch team running it. But what's its Achilles heel? What's the one tiny thing that, if you ignore it, could bring the whole show to a screeching halt, or even worse? Yeah, the answer is probably not what you're thinking. Get this, it's the tool holder. I know, it sounds almost too simple, right? But that little piece of metal is the single most critical link between that expensive machine spindle and the cutting tool that's actually doing the work. If that connection is weak, or dirty, or damaged, everything else falls apart. We're talking part accuracy, tool life, and yeah, even operator safety. It's all on the line. Okay, so let's dive into why we're calling this thing an unsung hero. Because its job is so much bigger than just, holding a tool. It's really the foundation of a safe, efficient, and profitable shop. A great way to think about it is like, it's a translator. It takes all the power, all the speed, all the complex instructions from the spindle, and it has to translate that perfectly to the business end, the cutting tool. If that connection, that vital link, has any static on the line, well, that whole conversation between your machine and the workpiece just turns into garbled noise. And you know what that means. Bad parts. And this really spells out what's at stake. We're not just talking about getting a slightly better surface finish here. We're talking about preventing catastrophic damage to your workpiece, squeezing every last bit of life out of your expensive tools, and most importantly, keeping your team safe. The stakes are incredibly high. Okay, so if it's that important, how do we protect it? How do we make sure that link is always strong? Well, the good news is it's not about some complex, expensive procedure. It all comes down to simple, consistent daily habits. Think of them as little rituals that lock in precision. And here you can see the two roads you can go down. On one side, you've got neglect. Coolant just sits there causing corrosion. You toss it in a drawer, it gets banged up. Rust starts to creep in. And the end result? It's inevitable. Poor performance, broken tools, scrapped parts. But look at the other side. The solution is so simple it's almost laughable. Wipe it down, store it right, give it a light coat of oil. That's it. So the key takeaway here is to turn this into a non-negotiable checklist for your shop. Every single time a tool holder comes out of the machine, it has to be clean, dry, and lightly oiled before it gets put away. Period. Giving it a dedicated home, a toolbox, a cart, prevents it from getting dropped or damaged. And covering those sharp edges, that's just a common sense move that protects both the tool and the person handling it. Okay, so storage is one thing. That's half the battle. But what about when that tool is spinning at thousands of RPM under incredible pressure? How do you maintain precision then? Well, that takes a whole different set of disciplines. It really boils down to 3 simple but critical steps. First, the bore has to be spotless. Any bit of grease, dust, anything, it kills your gripping power. It's just non-negotiable. Second, always use the stop screws for length adjustment. It's the only way to prevent a dangerous overextension. And third, and this is a big one, use a torque wrench. Good and tight is not a real measurement, folks. You've got to hit the manufacturer's recommended torque to get stable, vibration-free performance every single time. And here's something people forget all the time. You can have the most pristine tool holder in the world, but it can't do its job if its environment is a mess. I'm talking about the things it connects to, the machine spindle and any adapters you're using. They need the exact same level of care. You got to think of it as a complete system. A clean spindle means the holder seats perfectly, giving you a stable connection. Those adapters, they've got to be cleaned and oiled after every single use to stop corrosion in its tracks, because corrosion can mess up the fit and boom, you've got a broken tool. Seriously, just a quick visual check for dents or wear and tear before you load it up can save you from a massive headache down the line. So, we've talked about what you can do, the individual habits, but to make this stuff stick, to get those long-term results, you have to think bigger. You've got to move beyond just one person's good habits and build a system for the whole shop. It's really about creating a culture of care. So what does that look like? Well, it means setting up dedicated cleaning stations so nobody has an excuse. It means labeling every holder with its type, size, even its usage history, so you can track performance and spot problems before they become disasters. It means getting serious about your storage environment, controlling temperature and humidity, and maybe the most important part, ongoing training. This can't be a one-and-done memo. It has to be a constant conversation. Because that's the end game, right? When your team really gets why they're doing these small, tedious tasks, that's when they take ownership. That's when it becomes second nature. Because let's be real, you can have all the fancy tech in the world, but it's only as good as the people and the culture you build around it. And that brings us full circle. All of these little things, these meticulous steps, they all add up. They combine to build something much, much bigger, the actual foundation of a true next-gen manufacturing operation. And the payoff for all this attention to detail? It's huge. We're talking better parts with higher precision and quality. We're talking a much longer life for your expensive tools, which is real money back in your pocket. And of course, the big one, a safer, more reliable shop floor for everyone on your team. So in the end, it really all comes down to one thing. It's about building your entire operation on a single, strong foundation. And that foundation isn't built on luck. It's built on discipline, on care, and on a real appreciation for the tiny details that separate the good shops from the great ones. So I'll leave you with this question to take back to your own shop. Take a hard, honest look at your processes, at your team's habits, at your overall culture. Is your foundation truly solid? Is it strong enough to handle what's coming next in manufacturing? Because the future is going to demand it.